Now I'm gonna go to the East real quick. I'm gonna take a pit stop in the East because the East is very interesting to talk. It's important to talk about the East, and it's what we are about to witness for this next week will be amazing. I'm on record saying this will probably be the best Eastern Conference series, maybe top two, because I really love the Toronto series, this past series with the Boston Celtics. But I believe that Miami versus Boston is this old mantra that a lot of, I guess, billionaires or like I guess parents say it too. Leaders, a lot of people that say this. Sometimes we don't know what we want. Sometimes we don't know what we want until we are given it. It sounds a little, bad, but in this case, it's true. I could ask 10,000 people on the streets right now if I go to Manhattan or anywhere in New York. Could ask 10,000 people, and I believe maybe 10 people, so 1%, so 10 people would tell me they wanted to see a Celtics Miami Heat Eastern Conference series. It was either Boston Philly, Milwaukee Boston, Milwaukee Philly. I'm gonna go back to early on to the season. Brooklyn, Philly. Nobody wanted the Jimmy Butler led Miami Heat in the conference finals. Nobody even projected that. I know I didn't project that. I was looking at my NBA preview for this past season. I understandably, the whole virus situation happened, but I had Miami as a team in the bubble. When I said team in the bubble, they're not there yet. They can't be a legitimate contender. I literally had them in that bubble type of thing. They're not bad, but they're not good enough to be a contender. And here we are, contenders. They're 4 games away to making the NBA Finals. Miami during the bubble have been amazing. They've been the most, I guess, maybe top 3 well-knit teams. I have them, Denver, and actually Boston, and you could say Toronto. You can see that the team is cohesive. Everybody knows their role. Everybody knows where they have to go. Everybody knows what to do. You can't break them down psychologically, which is what the Lakers did to Portland and to Houston, especially Houston more so than Portland. Miami, they're averaging 112 points per game. This is the postseason now. They average 112 points per game, 46% from the field, and this is the big stat, 38% from 3. Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, 2 guys who are lighting it up from the 3-point line. Amazing. You also have Bam Adebayo, a Giannis-like player. He could give you triple dubs every day. He could a point forward. That's exactly what Bam is. You also have Jimmy. Kendrick Nunn, I believe, is coming off the bench right now. You have Jay Crowder, defender. A plethora of good, young, nasty talent. When I say nasty, I mean like they gritty. They get after you defensively. And when listening to their listening to, I guess, interviews and whatnot with Miami Heat players talking, they kept saying this, that they're all getting their mindset, their characterization from Jimmy Butler. The team is what Jimmy Butler is. And watching the games, like watching the way Miami operates, it is literally a Jimmy Butler team. Tough nose. Yeah, they're going to make mistakes here and there. And then, yeah, they're going to make big shots here and there. That's Jimmy Butler. That's Jimmy Butler's whole career. So now for Miami to win the series, right? two players, one or you could say one of these two players, have to be. I don't want to say necessarily the best player. Well, one of the players have to be the best player, but they have to put their imprint on each game. And those players are, of course, Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler is the one I'm alluding to saying that in saying that he needs to be the best player on the court for those 4 games. The 7 games, because I think this is going 7. He needs to be the best player. And Goran Dragic, the Dragon, they're the keys for Miami to have success and make it to the NBA Finals. During the bubble, during the postseason, both players are averaging 21 points per game. But a lot of those players have had monster games. Jimmy Butler multiple times against Indiana had monster games. Goran Dragic had in the Milwaukee series had games of 27 points, 23 points. He averaged 22 points in the whole Indiana series. Against Boston, Goran Dragic he's basically averaging 21 points again on 47% shooting. Goran, if Goran starts going up, and the big thing with Goran, the reason why Goran needs to go off is because that makes Kemba have to work. Kemba's gonna have to play a lot of defense in this series because if Goran Dragic is off, you could just have Kemba on Goran, but Goran Dragic is on. Tyler Hero, I have a lot of respect for him now. This man is never off. If you have him, you have to play defense on him. Duncan Robinson, he's a runner. He's a runner. He's gonna try and run. A bunch of pin down screens are coming at you. A lot of bodies, a lot of misdirection plays are coming at you. You're gonna get tired, and that's gonna make sure that's gonna basically hinder your offensive game because you're focused so much on stopping those guys from not scoring on one side of the court that is gonna mess you up on the other side of the court due to fatigue. Boston Boston's now just coming out of a 7-game series. A tough 7-game series against Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors team minus Kawhi, but they still are. They were the defending champions. We're gonna have new champions now. Now, when it comes to Jimmy, like I said, Jimmy needs to be the best player for those 7 games, or I guess the 4 games, the 4 wins that they should get. Jimmy has multiple times, especially this season, has said people are coming at him like he's not a good player, that he's not a great player. I think Jimmy Butler's a good player. I don't think he's a great player. But Jimmy Butler, I don't know your middle name, but Jimmy Butler, it's your time. You have the shot now to propel your team to the NBA Finals. You have a shot now for people to be like, hey, maybe Jimmy Butler is top 5 in this league. It's up to you, my man. It's up to you. Jimmy going up against Boston. The Boston and Miami series was 2-1 in favor of Boston. Jimmy this year was 28.5 points on 53% shooting from the field. But more importantly, this man was 43% from 3-point. One of the big question marks at the beginning of the playoffs was Jimmy Butler's inefficiency at 3-point at the 3-point line. It was about 27% from 3 throughout the season, but against Boston, apparently he was always he couldn't miss. 43% is like awesome. The big thing with Jimmy that I've been loving from the playoffs has been his ability to get free throw attempts, to get to the line. He has had games where he's had games where he's had 20, 19, and 18 free throw attempts. Not even free throws or free throw mades. Free throw attempts, having that many free throw attempts is crucial. He's a good to great free throw shooter, about 85% for the season. But being able to just draw fouls and get to the line, especially if you're down, you stop the clock, you're getting easy baskets, or the other way. You have the lead. Teams are playing extra hard to shorten that lead. You drive in, you be aggressive, you foul. Even though you stop the clock, you start extending the league. Like it's kind of like a slow death that comes in, which is what Jimmy Butler is all about. To be honest with you, he wants to beat you down slowly. He doesn't want to. I'm gonna use a Call of Duty term. Quick scope you. He doesn't want to quick scope you, but he wants to hit you with that melee. That's what he wants to hit you with. But that's Miami. That's Miami. Let me go to Boston. Boston. When it comes to Boston, I have 3 questions for Boston. Before I look at their stats, I have 3 questions for Boston. What do you do when Gordon Hayward? When Gordon Hayward comes back, how do you implement him back onto the team? He was gone, I believe, game 2, game 3 of the Philly series. Gone game 2 or game 3 of the Philly series. So if it was game 2, you have 3, 4, and then all of 7. So that's 9 games. If it was game 2, you have 10 games. 10 games without Gordon Hayward. I know Brad Stevens loves Gordon Hayward, and Brad Stevens is quick to bring Gordon Hayward back into the rotation. But is it the right thing to do? Especially at this time. You have Ojale playing well. You have Williams playing well. Grant Williams is playing well as well. That's a tongue twister. You have all these bench players playing well. Now that you're gonna go implement Gordon Hayward back in, what does that mean for those guys who they're starting to get their rhythm now? Them losing minutes, I understand that they don't give the production that Gordon Hayward's giving, that Gordon Hayward would give, but the continuity. Because now, the biggest thing about this bubble, the thing that this bubble has taught me personally is if your team is not fluid, is not in tune with each other, that's when things like starts to hit the fan. Examples, Philly loses Ben Simmons. This team was in flux. This team could not really do anything. You just had Joel Embiid, but Joel Embiid is not that type of player to say, here, I could take over this game. I could do whatever Ben Simmons did, this and that. You have the Portland Trailblazers. Zach Collins was meant to be the primary defender on Anthony Davis. He gets hurt. He's out for the season. We really don't know. Like, we really can't do this and that. Continuity has been the biggest thing. That's the reason why you have the Lakers on top, Boston is here, and Miami's here. The 3 most well-oiled teams in the bubble left. So I said Gordon Hayward, Kemba has to defend. I alluded to this earlier. Kemba, if Goran Dragic is playing well, Kemba's gonna have to defend. Kemba can't be, I guess, scapegoated. No, that's the wrong word. He can't be hid. He can't be hidden. Because what, you're gonna put him on Ben Adebayo? Bam just goes in the post, easy buckets. Tyler Hero, like I said, he's not off. Duncan Robinson, even though if Duncan Robinson might go, let's say 2 for 9 from 3-point line, the whole time on offense, the defender is running with him. So that's gonna get you tired. And then my last question, and this is a big question. Can Jason Tatum be the outright, he could have been, but can Jason Tatum be outright the best player on the floor? Jason Tatum, to everybody, myself included, he has become the best player in Boston. We are waiting for him to ascend, to start jacking that he's a top 10 player in the league or top 15 player in the league. Can Tatum and his excellent game, when I say excellent, this game is fire. Can he now raise his level of play? Instead of he's averaging about, I believe he's averaging in the postseason about 28 points a game. Can he make that 32? 4 more points. Tatum versus Miami. He's giving up 3.5 points, 3.5 turnovers in the 3 games. 3.5 turnovers. Only scoring 21 points on 40% on 40% shooting, with 23% from the 3. This is how I'm gonna say that again. 23% from the 3. This man averages 40% from the 3. 40%. And then against Miami, he's down to 23%. That's alarming. That's alarming if I'm a Boston fan. If Jalen doesn't if he's not the outright best player, he still has some help. He still has some help. He has the guy that always has his back. Practically should be his best friend in Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown against the Heat, 24 points, 40% from the 3. When he is between 30 to 38% 3-point shooter, give or take. So you always have Jalen, because I said this before. I think Tatum and Jaylen Brown are going to be the next Steph and Clay in terms of that duo will be the best duo in the NBA pretty soon. But there's games where there's games where Steph is like, okay, I need to be the outright best player in the game, and he does that. Same thing with Klay Thompson. Both of them are able to do that. This is the time. These guys ain't young no more. These guys have been to 2 of the last 3 Eastern Conference Finals. Which one is gonna say, "Hey, man, let me take over. I'm gonna be the guy that takes us to the finals"? Which one is gonna be? I think Tatum has a better skill set to do that. Jaylen Brown, but I'm not. That's not knocking Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, I feel like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are kind of on the same level. I'll choose Jason Tatum. If I was trying to franchise, I'll choose Jason Tatum over Jaylen Brown. But Jaylen Brown ain't no slouch. He could do that himself too. However, that's something that needs to happen, because both teams, Miami and Boston, they're evenly matched. And I always go back to this. A lot of people try to say that basketball is a team game and whatnot. Yes, it is a team game. But there comes a time you play a team that is exactly on your team's level. How do you break the tie? The way you break the tie is your best player shows their best player that he's the best on this court. And that's what Jason Tatum needs to do in these 7 games. So now, who am I picking? This is tough. Like I said, I did not know I wanted this series, but I'm happy. I'm glad I have this series. I'm glad I'm going to be able to watch this series. It's going 7. I said that already. Going 7. But I have Boston winning in 7. A seven tough games. I have Boston winning. Mainly because I think Boston overall is a better team than Miami. That's where it comes down to. I believe Boston overall is a better team than Miami. It's not by that much. That's how awesome this series. That's how awesome this series is going to be. It's not by that much. However, I just think you have Marcus Smart, you have Ojale, you have Williams, you have Tatum, Brown, Tice, Gordon Hayward's coming back for sure in this series. Kemba, and I'm not gonna say Wanamaker, but he does his job for his role. Miami has Hero, Nunn, Olynyk, Robinson, Jimmy, Goran Dragic, Bam, Andre Iguodala, Jay Crowder. Oh my gosh, just like thinking about it is I'm ecstatic for this game. However, for game 1, I think Miami takes it. Boston, even though they kind of had, a good amount of rest, they've just been through a rough series with Toronto. A rough series with Toronto. So much heartbreak. That .5 shot. Wasn't Norman? No. Kyle Lowry with that turnaround fade game 6. I think Miami takes the first game tonight. Let's say a score of like 112 to 106. That's the same score that Miami beat them by in the bubble this back in August, actually. I believe like the last week of August. The last week before the playoffs started, they played. And yeah, I have Boston winning the series in 7, but Miami wins tonight 112-106. I think that's the final score of the game.